Well, joining us tonight to take this up and more, Congressman Jim Jordan, ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee, the House Oversight Committee. Oh, and it goes on and on, Congressman.
Yep.
80% of those EB-5 visas for the purpose of the Communist Party in China.
Yeah.
It's heartwarming.
Well, you got to view it in context. In your opening comments, you were right on target, Lou. Think about what China did with the coronavirus. It misled the whole world, misled the United States, and then their influence on the World Health Organization, who just out and out lied to us. That's why the president was so right in saying, we ain't sending any more American tax dollars to this organization. You know, I love the comment one of my colleagues made. You don't have to pay organizations to lie to you. They'll probably do it for free. So within that framework, let's look at what's happening with this program. That's why Mr. Rischenthaler and I asked the GAO, the Government Accountability Office, to take a look at this, and let's figure out exactly what's going on here, because the numbers, as you indicated, seem to indicate there may be a concern here. So that's what we're trying to figure out.
Well, and then we've got congressmen and other senators writing to Larry Kudlow and Jared Kushner, talking about how important it is to get some guest workers into this program with 40 million Americans out of jobs. What the hell is going on here? I mean, the swamp is one thing, but this is just plain stupid now and corrupt as hell.
Well, this president campaigned on this issue, getting tough on China, renegotiating trade agreements with China, recognizing their theft of intellectual property, recognizing that they don't adhere to any type of international trade norms. This president campaigned on it, and he's doing it. So that is the framework we have to function in. The president understands that. Let's make sure we continue down that path, because remember, that's what the American people elected President Trump to do, but one of the many issues. And this president does what he said. So I appreciate his leadership on this. And we're just going to keep getting information and keep pushing for the right thing.
Well, I do too. My question is, why in the hell aren't these EB-5, which is, come on, let's be honest, this is just as corrupt as hell. It's corruption with a system that's out front. It is absurd. It is obscene. And the business of trying to bring in more temporary workers while we got 40 million people out of work, that is also obscene. And for Kudlow and for Kushner to be the recipients of that letter gives me the impression the Chamber of Commerce thought they might be a willing, eager audience for their entreaties.
Well, let's focus on getting Americans back to work. You're right, Lou. Let's focus on opening up our economy. Some of these states that are still largely in lockdown makes no sense. Let's get that great American comeback, that V-shaped recovery that I think the president is right about, and we saw indications of that just 2 weeks ago with the May jobs numbers. Let's get focused on that. Let's stay focused on that, and you're going to see the great American comeback actually happen.
Okay, I assume then that means you're talking to Kudlow and Kushner about getting focused?
Talk to the White House folks all the time.
Good. Well, give them hell, will you? Let's go to the, if we may, the issue of FISA reform, urging your colleagues to promote that and to assure it. That would be great if I had some confidence in your conference and its ability to do that. Can you get us all enthusiastic about the prospects?
So understand where we're at now. We had a Senate-passed bill and a House-passed bill. There were differences, so we're in what we call a conference committee. So on that conference committee, let's focus on what we know. And what we mostly know is there are big problems with this program. And I'll just go to one example. We point out 5 different pieces of information in that letter we sent to our colleagues. But one big one is Michael Horowitz is doing a broad-based look. The Inspector General at Justice Department is doing a broad-based look at the FISA program. He reviewed 29 cases, randomly selected 29 different cases of American citizens who were surveilled upon. So he took those 29 cases. In every single case, Lou, every single one, American citizens, every single one, there were major problems. In 4 of the cases, they couldn't even find what FBI process and protocols say you have to have, which is the Woods file, which has the base evidence that they then use to take to what supports what they take to the FISA court. In 4 of those 29 cases, they couldn't even find it. The Justice Department couldn't even give it to them. So, and yet Christopher Wray told us in a hearing back in February that everything was fine. You could rest easy. There was no problems. There are big problems. So that is the overall framework. Let's make sure we reform it so that what happened to the president never happens again. And what happened to these 29 individual American citizens never happens again as well. That's what we're focused on. And we just want to remind our conference, laying it out for them in these 5 major areas, but that's the biggest one.
Well, Congressman Jordan, always fighting for the president, for the country, and for what's right. We appreciate it. Congressman Jim Jordan, good to have you with us.